Hello there. Welcome, 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 welcome to a brand new ASMR video. Today we're going to be going back into my partial childhood. I recently went to my storage unit looking for my specialty microphone. Quite a few years ago I bought a 3DO, those white ASMR microphones with the ears, right? And I can't find it in my storage unit, but what I did find in my storage unit was something pretty cool. You see, I've been collecting, I have been collecting video games since I've been a child, and I would like to show you just a very small snippet of some of my video games that I have in my collection. I have some very, very rare video games. I have a full copy of Earthbound for the Super NES. I have sealed copies of the original Pokemon games for the Game Boy, and the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy Advance. But we're gonna go back to the Nintendo DS era of video games, which, the more I think about, I guess people who are maybe like 10, 11, or 12 years old, maybe 13 or 14 years of age, these games that I'm about to show you, I guess, would be considered vintage video games, but I personally don't consider them vintage. Vintage to me would be like 1980s, the NES, right? That was before my time. And then it was the Super Nintendo, the Super NES. And then it was the N64. And then it was Xbox and GameCube. I didn't really ever have a PlayStation growing up, but I'm a big PlayStation guy now. But PC Master Race, PC. Anyways, we're gonna go through each one of my Nintendo DS games that I have. Some of the games that I am about to show you are still sealed and are worth quite a pretty penny. I have a sealed copy of Metroid Prime for the Super NES somewhere. I have a lot of sealed video games from the 90s, and a couple from the 80s actually too. They're worth a lot of money, but I'm going to show you what I have over here because, well, we're going to do with the era of video games. So this video today is going to be the Nintendo DS. This is what I have in my collection. It's not a whole lot, but they're good games. So, one moment. Upcoming is a lot of taps. A lot of tapping. As you can see, some of these games are still sealed. it is time. For those of you who don't know, I am a big fan of Pokemon. Pokemon, and A-N-D, and I'm a big fan of the game series called Castlevania. That's right, Castlevania. And we have Castlevania Order of... Actually, I don't even know how to say that name. Excelsia, is that how you say it? Excelsia, Order of Ecelia. I think it's Elcelia. Castlevania, Order of Ecelia. If I'm butchering the name, I do apologize, but I've actually never played this Castlevania game. I've only played the originals for the NES and Super Nintendo. But this is the game A New Hero Rises, and it's in Spanish. But this is the inside of the box for the Nintendo DS, back when Nintendo had their little Wi-Fi connection. Does this even have a book? Let's see. I don't know if this actually has the full manual. I believe it does, since this was my original copy. We have a little connection box. Little connection. Then we have... Look at that. We got it, guys. We have the original manual of the game. One of the things I love about physical copies of video games is the fact that these are going to be obsolete in our time. I'm sorry if that was super loud, but look at that. Take a look. That's right. Castlevania for the Nintendo 3DS. WO2. That's right, this is a sealed copy of Final Fantasy III. I personally really liked Final Fantasy III. Original barcode and everything. This is the story untold. Divine balance is disturbed, and dark encroaches upon the world, and the four chosen youths are encrusted with the final vestige of hope. Classic Final Fantasy gameplay is reborn in an adventure never before seen in North America, using any combination of 23 available jobs. Lead the four warriors of the Lightened Journey to restore the world's balance. Communicate with your friends and unlock hidden challenges with Nintendo DS Wi-Fi connection. Enlist in the aid of allies, providing guidance to your party and support in the battle. Restore the light, return the balances of the world, and witness the rebirth of a new fantasy. This is Final Fantasy III by Square Enix for the Nintendo DS. Number 3, THREE. The third 3 game is... Oh yes, I remember buying this. I remember when I bought this game too. Welcome to Pokemon Diamond version. Yes, this was another fantastic Pokemon game. There's actually so many different Pokemon games. But here we go. In Pokemon Diamond version, the back says, "Welcome to the next generation of Pokemon." This actually allowed 2 through 8 players. This was a big thing back in the day because you could have 2 to 8 players on your Nintendo DS. And that was pretty cool back in the day. As a rookie Pokemon trainer, you will now need to catch, train, and battle Pokemon on your journey to become the Pokemon League champion. You will face many challenges along the way as you search for the Pokemon that rules in the Pokemon Diamond version. You can discover more than 100 new Pokemon in the Sinnoh region. You can meet goals and earn the ability to import Pokemon from your GBA versions. Game Boy Advance, that was another thing that was pretty cool, was that you could import your Pokemon from your Game Boy Advance into these, which was a crazy thing to do, is to be able to import your Pokemon from your handheld device into a new handheld device. You can battle and trade with your friends around the world using Nintendo's Wi-Fi connections. compatible wireless routers and Nintendo Wi-Fi USB connectors, and broadband internet access may be required for online play. Watch as day turns to night with the return of real-time clock features. This game also had a real-time clock feature, which was another really unique aspect of this Pokemon game. As you can see, it comes with the manual. The manual's in pretty good shape. The booklet has a kind of a bend in that lower left corner, but overall, not too bad. What do you guys like more? Soft tapping or fast tap, or slow tapping or fast tapping like this? Or fast tapping? What is your preference? Number 4. FOUR4. That's right, another Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow. So, the crazy thing is, I own these games, right? But I never played any of the my Nintendo DS was probably the most... It was the one handheld console growing up that I played the least amount of, just because I didn't have a lot of time back then. And back in the day, my parents wouldn't let me play more than 2 hours at a time on any of my gaming consoles or my handheld devices, so games like this that are really long and really hard, I just didn't have the time to play. You could have 1 to 2 players with this game. Reach out and touch the magic. A year has passed since the Soma Cruz discovered the evil Dracula hidden inside his body. Now a mysterious cult wants to release the power of the Lord of Darkness. As Sama, you must do everything in your power to stop them before it's too late. Sama Cruz. Next up, we have another Pokemon game. This game is also sealed. Drum roll, please. A brand new sealed copy of Pokemon White version 2. Combined, a new legend arises. Set off on a brand new Pokemon adventure to save the Unova region. Unova region. You and your Pokemon can accomplish everything together. You can transfer your amazing legendary Pokemon from the 3DS download software called the Pokemon Dream Radar. Does anybody remember that? The Pokemon Dream Radar. Visit the Pokemon Link website for extended gameplay. Enjoy trades and battles with your friends using infrared or DS wireless communications with people from all over the world using Nintendo's Wi-Fi collection. Yeah, it was called Pokemon Dream Radar. You can actually see kind of right there where my finger is, Pokemon Dream Radar. I remember that. I feel so old. So old I feel. To think that this was back in 2012, so over 10 years ago. I feel so old, guys. I hate it. The next game we have, drum roll. Can you guess what it is? What can this game be? 3, 2, 1. That's right, Pokemon Pearl version. This is not a sealed copy. Everything is complete with the original booklet. Booklet. I wish most games had booklets, but these days, the problem is with games is that some of the physical games that you buy don't even come with booklets. Welcome to the next generation of Pokemon. Actually, you know what? This is exactly the same by back description as the Diamond version that we read earlier, but it's in a different region, and I guess the different, not Diamond version, excuse me, Pearl version. You know, I didn't really understand the difference between the Pearl version and this version and the Diamond version. I believe, from what I understand, it had to deal with the rarity of certain Pokemon, if I'm correct. I'm actually not sure. If anybody knows, the difference between Pearl version and a Diamond version, I thought it had to do with the region changed of, in the game world, and then the amount of rarity of the Pokemon that you could potentially catch. But I never actually played this one, even though I have it. I bought it, but I never played it. This game is a classic. You may have seen it, you may have heard of it, you may have played it, you may have owned it back when you were my age, but it's one of my personal favorites. That is right, Chrono Trigger. Now, I do have a copy of this for the NES, Super NES, I mean. It's in a rough shape, though. It's not the best condition, but I do have a physical copy of the game. And this is another sealed game of mine. The RPG of the Ages return. When a newly developed teleportation device malfunctions, young Chrono must journey through time to rescue a mysterious girl from an intricate web of the past and present pearls of past and present. Present, is that? I can't read. Yeah, past and present pearls. Enhanced with dual screen presentation, synth controls, and a host of great features, this classic take transcends once time again. That's something that I do remember about this game, is that it utilized both of your Nintendo DS screens, and a lot of games didn't utilize two screens from the Nintendo DS. I'm not sure why. It's just fine. I thought it was that the Nintendo DS just was kind of a, I didn't understand it. You have two screens, but most of the games only use one screen, so what was the point, right? It was pretty cool though for the time, having a dual screen handheld device. But did you guys like the Nintendo DS? Let me ask you guys this. What was your favorite handheld device by Nintendo? Personally, my favorite handheld device from Nintendo was my Game Boy, the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, and then the Game Boy Advance. Yes, I remember the Game Boy Advance specifically. I had one of those little lamp thingies, like it was like a little USB thing that you would plug into your Game Boy Advance, and it would have like this little light so you could play the game at nighttime. That's before they had a backlit, you know, Game Boy Advance or Game Boy SP where they had a backlit screen. But I remember being a kid and playing my Game Boy Advance with this little bendy light at the top that would just be barely enough light to see my screen, and I was like this all the time. Good times, good memories. We have another sealed game. Can you guess what this one is? This is another classic. That's right, Contra. Now this was a really, 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 really hard game. I'm sorry if you can hear a horn in the background. Yeah, this game doesn't really have a big description, but my neighbor's car alarm is going off right now. I hope to God you can't hear it, because that would be very disruptive. We have another one. Wait, what is this? I don't even remember buying this game. 1 second, my headset just turned off. This is... Are you ready? I've actually never played this game. I don't even remember buying this, but apparently I did. So this is... Mega Man Zero Collection. Are you guys a Mega Man fan? Manual seems to be in good shape. But again, I don't even remember buying this. But apparently I did. It's in my collection. Okay guys, we have a total of 3 THREE. We have a total of 3 games left for my Nintendo DS. Can you guess what this one is? Just with a little tip, look at that. What is this? Final Fantasy VI. That's right. And it's still sealed. Bid farewell to your blood-stained past. This also allowed 1 to 2 players. It says, follow the Dark Knight. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce half these things. Follow the Dark Knight Cecil, Lord Captain of Baron's elite force, the Red Wings, as he embarks on a fateful journey riddled with trials, betrayals, friendship, loss, and self-discovery. Plagued with uncertainty over his monarch's motives, can Cecil turn away from the path of darkness and destruction? Final Fantasy VI. And now on to our final 2. Our final 2 games from the Nintendo DS. And what are these games, you are asking? Well, Pokemon, of course. But what could they possibly be? I feel like of all of the Pokemon games that have come out, I feel like Nintendo DS had the most amount of Pokemon games. Would I be accurate in that assumption? I don't know. Pokemon Black version. Pokemon Black version. A brand new world filled with never-seen-before Pokemon. What are the true motives of Team Plasma and the mysterious N? What is the secret of the legendary Pokemon? Adventure across the Unova region and discover all new Pokemon. This goes from 2 to 5 players, which is kind of a weird number. 2 to 5. 5 is such a specific, odd number. And then the last one we have right here. The last of the taps. The last one we have is... That's right, Pokemon Black version 2. This game is sealed too. Essentially, two powers combine, a new legend rises. Set off on a new Pokemon adventure to save the Unova district. You and your Pokemon can accomplish anything together. Yeah. From what I understand, this had like an additional story, but I don't actually know the difference between like Black 1 and Black 2. Other than there's new Pokemon in each one, but it's the same district. You're saving the district from the same region of the game, so I don't know. Again, I only played one of the Nintendo DS Pokemon games. The majority of my Pokemon games was Pokemon Snap for the N64, and then Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Sapphire, and it was all the Game Boy Colors, and Game Boy Advance games. Those were my Pokemon games growing up, so like, I owned these games, but I never actually played them outside of one Nintendo DS game, so I think it was around generation 4 or 5 that I kind of just stopped investing in Pokemon. I mean, I still invest into Pokemon, but I've kind of just not really, purchased much Pokemon since the 5th generation. Although I do have a bunch of Blooming Water Pokemon cards, which I was thinking about making into an ASMR video. Would you guys like that? And then at the very end of my unboxing of ASMR Pokemon cards, I was thinking that I would give you guys away some of my Blooming Water Pokemon cards for absolutely free. Yes, that's right. Free Pokemon cards. Absolutely free. F-R-E-E free. I mean, you can't say no to that, right? But we're done for this video today, so thank you guys for watching this ASMR video. If you made it all the way through, I appreciate you. That rhymed. Thank you also for letting me hit up to 500 hours watch time. Currently, I need 3,000 hours of watch time on this YouTube channel in order to get it monetized where there are ads on the videos. So if you want to watch this video on repeat, it would help me a lot to get to my watch time, to get this channel up and running on the actual YouTube partnership program, because I would like to do this every single week. Actually, I would like to make 2 videos every single week for ASMR related content on this channel, but we have to hit 3,000 watch hours in 90 days, which I think we can do if each video is 500 hours of watch time. That will be pretty easy to do. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys next week for another ASMR video. Keep a lookout.